Alright, this is our power regulator block test. Right now we have our power regulator hooked up to our vending machine. That is the line coming directly off the 24-volt transformer. It's running through our board. AVR board is set to just run the fans constantly, so we're not worried about the temperature supply right now. Anyway, it's not hooked up. It's not hooked up. All it is hooked to the load, or not the load, excuse me, the oscope probe. And right now we are reading from the upper rail 23.4 volts unloaded. So now what I'm going to do is plug it into a 50 watt load, or 50 watt, excuse me, 50 ohm, 250 ohm resistors in parallel to give us a 25 ohm load, which should allow us to push 480 milliamps through, which is well in excess of our requirements. So do a quick cut, and when I come back it will be hooked up. Okay, we're back and the load is hooked up. I've got it set up across the oscilloscope, and as you can see, we've dropped down to 12.0 volts, which is pretty standard and pretty much what we've seen every time. According to the block tests, I should be able to run 400 milliamps out of either independently or 400 and 200. Now, we don't have all the right resistors to run a 400 and a 200 at the same time, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to run 480 milliamps, which is what this 25 ohm resistance will give us, out of each side independently, to show that regardless we can maintain it more or less indefinitely. I've been talking for almost a minute and we haven't seen any wavering. I'm not going to hold for the whole 2 minutes for each one. I'll hold 1 minute on each to show it works. We have verified this independently before, so we know it works. This is just a demonstration. Anyway, those are heating up nicely. Okay, so that's 1:10 and on the upper rail, so I'm going to make a quick cut and switch to the lower rail. Okay, that's the bottom line hooked in. It's funny, you can hear the fans drop as soon as you kick it in, which is kind of what we intended. That way we can get maximum RPMs out of these fans coming off VDD. And sure enough, holding steady, 12.0 volts. They're both humming along. This is exactly what we expected and exactly what we'd gotten before. Oh, shoot. Just popped out. You can see, dropped to nothing, obviously. Anyway, so that's showing that they both worked. So that's 480 milliamps being pushed out. Turn this off so we don't waste power. So we being pushed out of each rail independently, which definitely goes to show that they're capable of it. If we can push 480 milliamps out of each rail independently, there is absolutely no problem with us pushing 400 and 200 simultaneously. So that is our block test.